This is Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas. Sneaking the fucking, I'll be like,
but I'm like such a.
Nikki Prue.
You own this company essentially, say. Let's just call it like a bread making company. And you have
Courtney Harbaugh.
Tell me that this, like, you just didn't know. Fucking lies. That's all fucking lies.
Angelique Young.
Random fling, if we gotta go to the strip club and find you a homegirl, I'm okay with that. I just want to watch,
And Stephen Galbraith.
And I used to think that like monogamy was natural and like you pick one person and that's like all you're supposed to do, but my mind has expanded since then.
I'm excited. The gang's all here, yay!
Yay! Sit back and let's start the conversation. Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm your host, Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More, and with me I have my co-host next to me. I have Angelique Young.
Hey!
Hey Angie. And on the bottom of us we have Nikki Prue.
how's it going?
Hey Bae, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just to let everyone know tonight, Stephen and Courtney are not going to be here with us tonight. So that is okay because we have a spectacular guest co-host with us. Ashlee T. Bangkx is joining us in just a few moments. Yes, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Yes, I remember meeting her at Come Out St. Pete a couple of years ago. It was the first competition. I think it was 2018, and she won. Like she gave a killer performance. She was killing it. I was like, you better come on, girl. And she a sister too. So I was supporting.
Right. Yeah, she's an excellent entertainer. I have had the pleasure of calling her my sister for quite a few years now, and so I'm super excited to have her on the show. I want to catch up and see what's been going on.
Right. Sorry, Nikki. I'm sorry I cut you off.
I'm excited.
Thank you. So really fast, Angie, you had a show this weekend, Culture Kingdom, right?
Yes, Culture Kingdom. It was the launch of our first expansion to the famous Culture Queens. We started back in June. June, we had our first one, and we expanded the cast to include all types of entertainers. So we switched it from Queens to Kingdom. We had a live viewing party at the Bricks in Ybor, which was absolutely fantastic. They were wonderful enough to give us their space. And we had so many local people who work and own the building donate and sponsor and do things to help us put on the event and help make sure that all the entertainers were taken care of in every way possible. So it was so amazing. We had a great turnout. And we're looking forward to having our next one in October. We're going to still do the same method. So you guys will be able to come and see it live if you like, or you guys can watch from the safety of your home if you're a little worried. So either way, no matter how you want to do it, we do wear protective gear at the site. And on top of that, you guys are in your own room. The entertainers are in another room, and we showcase it live on screen. So you guys get to hear that and the question and answers, everything. It's wonderful.
I'm excited about that, and I'm excited for you because you're doing something great for the community. You know what I mean? A lot of performers out there just don't get the opportunity to be in front of that audience and get that experience. Because I remember in high school, it was kind of like a little bit of the same. And the first time I was starring in the show was my senior year, and it was a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm proud of you and Power for putting this, and Ripley.
Yes.
All together.
Thanks to Rip. Yeah. No, the event, I mean, we love showcasing the local entertainers in the area, and we've expanded a little bit. We got to have people from all over. So we're really reaching out and pulling out to new people every 2 months. It's a bi-monthly show. So every 2 months we'll do it, and you guys will get to see it. So our next one is Halloween themed. So we're looking for some fun entertainers to come in and be a part of that and kind of showcase the spooky side. And then our next one for the end of the year is Christmas. So it's going to be a Winter Wonderland theme, I'm pretty sure. So it'll carry those kind of themes and those kind of like beliefs all the way through into next year.
Oh, we're going to hear some Mariah Carey.
Oh God.
So much.
I hope that by then something new comes out that can overtake the radio. There's a lot of great artists.
We've all been waiting for that for so long, though.
I know we're gonna have to have someone specifically come in and do Mariah, right? Because it has to be a whole thing. Like I won't accept it if it's not like a lookalike situation. Like I need a full red dress, blonde hair, big hair, Mariah Carey, total finger on the ear, neck wave. I need the whole I need the whole experience. Yes.
So really fast, not to get off topic, because we got a lot of things to get through. We got to talk about hashtag Free Britney. We're talking about sharing needles today, and we're also talking about supporting our local businesses. But before we get into that, me and Angelique were having some fun. We were having some fun with this new app. It's called Reapp, and I just kind of want to
Reface app.
Reface app. Thank you. Thank you. Reface app. So we've made some couple of videos and we just kind of wanted to share them with you. So I'm gonna do Angelique first.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shining bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Just for your love, yeah. Give you the... Pero si le ponen la canción, le da una depresión tonta. Llorando no comienza a llamar.
I love this so much.
It is so much fun. I'm a huge Black Widow fan from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I can't find a video of her yet. So I've been doing all these like little GIFs, or they have like these little cute little like 2-second GIFs or whatever. So I've like refaced half of them. I have them on my phone. Like, so instead of sending the responses out like as like that, I send them as myself now. I just put my face on it.
Hold on,
Awesome.
let me share one with what I did. Hold on, let me share.
Now from the top, make it drop. That's some wet and cushy. Now get a bucket and a mop. That's some wet and cushy. I'm talking wop, wop, wop.
Baby, it doesn't matter whose face you put on Kylie Jenner's body, they always automatically look hot. Like every single person I've seen do that reface of that video, of the WAP video, anytime their face goes onto Kylie's body, it immediately just looks amazing. Everything looks like I've never seen no one's face not fit. Like everybody's just imagining. I want my hair like that. I want a whole outfit.
As soon as we're done tonight, I want everybody to know about it.
You gotta share. It's so fun. It's so fun.
You have to, Nikki. You have to. Like, you got to do one.
I know. I'm really sad that I haven't. So don't worry. I'll have it ready for next time.
All right, guys. So let's get to our guests right here. So this is a good friend. Well, not a good friend of mine. One of my favorite performers in the Bay Area. Her name is Ashlee T. Bangkx. And I put a little clip reel together for you guys just to introduce her. Here we are.
Take off all the makeup, 'cause I know what's under it. Rub off all your words, don't give up. You know I love all of this. I really love your name. Step out my skirt, up in my feet. Oh my, ooh, some kind of touch caressing my face. Oh my, ooh, I'm turning red. Who could this be?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our panel, Ashlee T. Bangkx. Yes.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome. So wonderful to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, really, Ashlee, because like literally I haven't seen you in a while because the COVID-19 thing going on, that sucks. But I really can't wait till this is over so you can be back on stage again.
Oh, I can't wait to start back cross-dressing on the weekend again.
So Ashlee, you're going to be in our little hot seat. We have a couple of questions for you because you a couple of years ago, you were the first winner of Miss Come Out St. Pete, but that isn't your first pageant you won, correct?
Oh no. Yeah, I've won quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, so would you say that you're a pageant queen, or you're just a gold medalist, or?
I'd prefer a gold medalist, but I don't think I'm a pageant girl, but I like a good competition. I don't think anything is wrong with that, but I don't think I'm a traditional pageant girl. But pageant girls are kind of sick, and I mean, look at all the pageant girls that have like went and swept Drag Race or done did on Drag Race. Jada Essence Hall.
Oh my God, yes.
So we have a couple of questions for you. I'll start first. Um, just tell us a little bit. How did you get started in the Bay Area doing drag, and where did your name come from?
Uh, I moved up here from Fort Myers about 6 years ago now. I'm from Fort Myers, born and raised, and I came up here. My husband and I moved up here, and it's kind of been a wrap since then. Drag was very different coming from Fort Myers. You know, we're a small little country town, so coming up here, it was a bit different. So I had to step things up, but I've loved it ever since I came up here. And I got my name. I was in another house when I first started performing, and our names were All Stars. So they had a rule that all of the girls had to be a name. So they were like, "You just look like Ashlee," and gave me the name Ashlee. And it was like, all right, well, that's it.
Well, I
And
guess that's
Bangkx, yeah, that was like it was like, all right, it's stuck.
done and done.
And Bangkx is something my husband and I came up with when we had got together. It was like like I don't want one specific house. Like I want like my own family. I want to sit up there and do this myself. I have my own vision. So it was like, well, let's come up with our own. We know what we're doing, and we came up with Bangkx.
I love that name. I really do. So let's go to Nikki next. Nikki, if you have any questions for Ashlee, what would you ask?
I mean, okay, well, normally I feel like I would have a far deeper question. I don't right now, and I apologize. It's been kind of a crazy week already. However, you just mentioned that you and your husband came up with like at least part of your name for yourself. That obviously leads me to believe that you guys have like a really, really connected relationship. How long have you been together?
September 14th will be 10 years.
10 years? Oh my God, September 14th is my anniversary too. Not 10 years, but congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Happy anniversary. Thank
Happy
you. I know that's like 3,000 years in gay. Thank you.
It's like 3,000 years plus 3,000 years in like the way I used to do relationships. So I think that's awesome. No, that's great. And I mean, I just feel like, it's having someone there, especially when you're, making decisions like that. It's somebody is in your life that can support you, and not only support you, but kind of help you out and add things. I just think it's an important connection. I feel like something like that adds to every aspect of your life. And I think that's great.
Oh, thank you. I'm so thankful and appreciative of my husband and the relationship that we have. Like, I love him. He's amazing.
That's awesome. Good for you. That's awesome. Congratulations and happy anniversary.
Thanks,
Angela,
same to you.
Girl, I love you. I think you're amazing. And I just want to know, how has quarantine been treating you? And when do I get to see Ashlee twirl again? What is next? What's in the future for you?
Quarantine, it's been all right. I'm really kind of tired of being in the house. I miss going out and interacting with people and hugging and touching people and making people laugh. But I don't know when the next time I'm performing. I've had a couple of opportunities present itself, but I know like drag right now, for so many of my sisters and fellow entertainers out there, that was their main source of income. And I have a daytime job. So it's more, I don't want to take any bookings right now because I don't want to take away from my friends that I know are in need of this booking and of the work right now. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I don't know if you know about Culture Kingdom, or if you've heard about it, if anybody's even approached you about it, but I want to offer the invitation for you to join. I mean, we do it bi-monthly. The next one's not until October, so you got some time. It's a Halloween show, but I definitely would love to put you up. And if I have a yes from you, I can present it to the rest of the team and we can get back to you on the details. But I personally wanted to do it here live in front of everybody, so you know how much you're loved. And once you're on stage, regardless of everybody else's settings, they all have opportunities. This opportunity is yours, though, if you choose it. And you could take a night, sleep on it, get back to me. We definitely want to offer that to you. We definitely think you deserve it, and you're welcome to grace the stage as a wonderful entertainer.
Oh yeah,
Well,
ma'am.
week.
You said October?
Yes, it'll be in October, and you can do it from home for quarantine, or you can come do it live in the studio.
I'll hit you up in the morning. Oh, girl, I want a kiki, girl. I want to come around people.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's a kiki. It's worth it. It's cool. It's a good time. It's a big, spacious dressing room. Everybody's spread out. You don't got to be next to nobody or nobody unless you want to be.
Okay. Oh yeah, ma'am.
So just before we move on, I just wanted to ask you, Ash. So there have been some recent protests and some deaths in our community. There's Breonna Taylor recently. There was David Prude. How are you feeling about our country right now? And honestly, can I ask, like, how do you feel about the responses coming from our government? I know you don't like talking politics, but I just kind of want to see how you felt about what's going on.
The response, I completely understand. As growing up as a Black man in America, I completely understand the response. I think it's really sad, and I wish that people would sit up there and speak out and do more. You know, they say it's an injustice for you to sit up there and see wrong and to sit up there and turn your eye. And it's so many people that see so many things wrong or afraid to sit up there and speak up and don't take an opportunity to do things like that. So I really wish that we could sit up there and come together a lot more than we do now. And I know it's really hard, but I definitely think that we need a lot more love and understanding in our community, like on both sides.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to say hi to Gabrielle. I just want to say hi to her. She's saying hi, everyone. Just want to say hello.
Hi, Gabrielle.
And also as well, Mason, our friend, me and Nikki's friends, Mason, wants to hear us talk #Free Britney. And that's what we're gonna do. So if we're all ready,
leave Britney alone.
What? All right, guys. So let's get into this because I've heard about this, but I didn't look into it. So apparently, ever since we all know since 2007, I believe, when Britney had her big breakdown, she shaved her head. She was seen attacking. There she is. She's attacking this paparazzi's car, and here's her cutting her own hair in the salon once back in 2007. So after that, her father. They committed her, and she got into this legal thing where her parents were her conservators of not only her but her financial affairs as well. So basically, they make the decisions in her day-to-day life. And this was back years ago, and I was thinking this is all over, but it's not. 12 years later, Jamie Spears, her father, still has control over all of her financial backings, and people were sending her messages on #Free Britney. I think she's responding because this little yellow thing she's wearing, they were saying that she was locked up in the hospital. There was another allegation that her father canceled the Vegas residency because she refused to take her medication. So with all of this, all these things that we're hearing about this, I just kind of want to go to the panel and ask you guys, like, how do you guys feel about #Free Britney? And do you think that Britney Spears should be in control of her own life by now? Because she's almost 40 years old. I'm going to start with, let's go to Ashlee first. She's our guest.
I definitely think that she should be able to have a little more control over her life and especially her finances. Like, Britney Spears worked really hard. I know she's had her moments, but who hasn't in life? And to take away her rights as a grown woman, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty harsh, especially all this time later. I'm sure she's a lot more stable than she has been in the past, and she's earned her money. You know what I mean? As a working entertainer, like, I know what it's like to sit up there to have your money played with. And Britney worked her ass off. Like, before there was Beyonce, there was Britney. No shade. Don't attack me, Beehive.
She came first.
Nikki, let's go to you, Nikki. How did you feel? Like honestly, I'll go last, but also as well, I just kind of want to let you know that She also can't vote. She's not allowed to get married to anyone unless her conservators allow it. She's not allowed to have a baby. How did you feel after you encountered this article?
Honestly, I agree with Ashlee pretty much to a T. I think it's crazy at this point. I don't really know. I mean, some of the videos that I've watched explaining the whole timeline of events as to what happened when, and, you know, starting with her breakdowns, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, she's been working. She has been working. She's worked really, really hard. I just don't see a reason why she still needs to have no control over her life. To me, it's just creepy. I think it's weird. I definitely don't think it's, well, I mean, I can't say definitely, I don't know the whole story, but really, in reality, I don't think it's warranted. I think that she is capable of taking care of herself. If she's been capable of working, I think she should have 100% have the ability to vote and to make her own decisions about children and marriage and everything else. She's an adult. Her dad just gives me like goosebumps, like in regards of like, that's just such, I can't even imagine what her life must be like right now. That's what really just, you know, when you think about it, what she's dealing with and what we don't know about, it just seems out of line.
Really fast, I just kind of want to say hello to Mason. Hi, Mason.
Hi, Mason.
And also as well, Gabby wrote something. She says this happens in our community's lives, where some of our elders or whatnot feel like we are not controlling our lives well and punish us and take our lives per se and different aspects. Will take over our lives. A lot of us can sympathize with her, and it's not right. She is grown. Let her be that. Let's go to Angelique. Angelique, how did you feel? I already know.
No, this is wild to me. This is one of those things that I honestly feel like people have to understand. Like, this man has built a case against her based on her weakest moments in life. If every single time a celebrity fell from grace, they had all their rights stripped from them or taken away from them, how everybody would be under some kind of management or some kind of control. Every single one of them. There's people who have done a lot worse and have better control over their lives or have better control over their situations based on, you know, going to get rehab and therapy. We've got other people like Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez who are constantly in and out of rehabs and facilities for mental health and all kinds of other things. And no one has stepped in and taken over their life or taken over their control. The movement is about giving this control back to her. Now, while she may have her moments and lapse of judgment, or she may have these moments where she's not doing as well as others, that's human. No one is perfect. Why is this woman being held to such a crazy standard? She has children. She's in and out of relationships. There's a lot of women who, I mean, nobody locked up Liza Minnelli and all her marriages. You know, these things happen. You know, there's, you know, so many actresses and actors who have dated or married gay men, or who have been in and out of relationships, never had children. You know what I mean? Never provided a legacy. This man is truly holding on to her. And there's an excerpt from an article that we have as a reference from the Huffington Post, in which it states that there's a woman. Hold on, let me get the actual name because I don't want to discredit nobody. She says something along the lines like, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money from what she does, and because of that, there's a lot of people who would want to control that to maintain it so that it goes to the right people in the right way. So right now, I mean, as an artist, she probably would, let's say she's making $1 million. Out of that $1 million, she's technically supposed to see, let's say like 80%, 20% goes to her management team, whatever. So she also pays whoever else. So maybe 60% at the end of this, once everything is trickled down. With somebody's controlling that, they not only have their hands in their pot for their 10%, but they have control of her 60% as well. So if they need a little bit of her 60, they can take it. If they want to take all of her 60, they can. They have access to this, and they can just write it off and say they spent it on whatever for her. But in reality, they're doing whatever God knows what with it, you know, investing it in other things for themselves, not for her. Imagine that someone takes 60% of your money, puts it in an investment for themselves in their name, and keeps that money, and then you never see it, and you can't get it back because it's no longer in your name. These people are doing things like that, and they're truly controlling her. They're letting her have her house, her cars, her kids, and they're saying, you can go do this, but you can't do anything. Some of the things that he controls are, and not limited to, she cannot be married without his permission. She cannot have children anymore without his permission. And she cannot move or leave or work without his permission. So even if she wants to make music, if she's in an inspired mood and wants to go to the studio, she has to literally call up her dad and say, I want to work or I want to sing today. She's literally the definition of a caged bird. So this is out of control. This is unnecessary. She needs to have her rights back and she needs to have her freedom back. She's a grown-ass woman. And at this point, any mistakes she makes going forward are her own, and she needs to be allowed to do that. People have to stop preventing people from making mistakes. Some of the best people in the world made a lot of mistakes. You have to fail sometimes to succeed. And she's a prime definition of that. It hasn't killed her yet. It's only made her stronger. No pun intended. I
don't hear of anything bad lately. I mean, that's the thing I could see. Like you said, if you could see her, if she was having breakdowns every other day or like smashing up cars or doing God knows what or anything at all, there's no reason for it at this point. It's insane. It's scary.
And the famous heart. Imagine that. All these kids have had issues. Drew Barrymore went through a drug-induced situation before she was 18. I mean, these people this happens to celebrities when they're young. It truly happens. And the only difference is she got caught between a lot of people. People saw her and someone seen an opportunity and took advantage of it. And the worst part about it is that someone she trusted, it was her father. That's horrible, in my opinion.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Sorry, Ashlee, go ahead. Sorry, Nikki.
No,
whichever
I'm sorry,
you guys want to go first.
Ashlee, go.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well,
I'm good.
I was just gonna say, Angelique, you brought up a very interesting point when you said a lot of people around her literally base their livelihoods off of Britney. It reminds me of that young actor. He's a black guy. I can't remember, Gary Coleman, because didn't he sue his parents for control of his money? And it also reminds me of Tina Turner. She's out there dancing. Yeah, she's out there dancing, doing all this stuff, basically making all the money, but they're in control of everything.
At the time, she had no control over any of it. Literally, I did everything until the divorce, and it wasn't until then that she got full control back. And even then, the damage was so done that she didn't know how to do anything after that. She didn't know how to handle her own business. And so, I mean, at this point, the damage is done. If whatever you wanted, you got. Take whatever you got and go. Like you've not. This is what, 2007 to now. We're talking 13 years of hold.
Yeah, that's a long time.
You haven't gotten enough in 13 years. And then put her on tour. She did the Las Vegas residency. And you when is enough? When are you done? Let the girl just be.
And Gabby just said Whitney did the same thing. Whitney was on drugs. I don't know. Britney didn't do anything that bad. Like literally, she had a breakdown in public. What of it? I've had mental breakdowns.
She had to break down.
Who hasn't?
Yesterday, you were a backup dancer.
Like seriously, who hasn't?
She got married in Vegas that one time. She's done a couple off the chart stuff randomly.
Yeah, but Whoopi Goldberg got married, overnight once. She's been married 3 times. And now she's like, I'll never want to be married again. But I agree with everyone. Like Britney needs to make her own choices, because I'm really afraid, and we all know this shit is true, that her father is taking all the money, and it's bullshit. It needs to stop. It needs to end, because this woman is almost 40 years old. Like, she can't see her kids all the time, but okay, great. But how long and even the judge, I'm pissed off at the judge, and she can't even have her own lawyer. She has to have a court appointed lawyer. Yeah. This woman makes millions of dollars, but she can't buy, the money that the lawyer, the money that I can't get that out. She can't buy the lawyer that she can really get. It's absolute bullshit. And the judge, who is continually to punish her for this, is so misogynistic. It's so misogynistic in the worst way. I've never seen a man treated like this ever. Because if you remember, like a lot of let's say, oh shit, I can't think of it. Can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but there are some male artists out there who have done, like Ozzy Osbourne. He could have had a conservatorship with Sharon, because he was doing all the drugs, cheating on her ass. But yeah, Britney has this one thing 12 years ago, and now, she can't leave her house. she's shopping at Target and shit. What the fuck?
I'll leave it at the fact that, like, if there is something else that's missing, if there's something else that's amissive as far as a mental condition or a mental disorder that truly puts her at a disability, that truly means that she cannot take care of herself or she's not well enough to do so, which is possible. He's gonna have to come forward and be like, this is it. Like, you guys, like, we need, like, at this point, you've been doing this for way too long. This girl is in way too much struggle. And if it really is that serious, then you should have no problem with being open and honest about the setup. Because once again, she's an icon. She's something that people look up to. So if that's the case, her struggle could help more people than it's hurting. You're protecting that whole saving one to save a million bullshit is not working in this particular case for me personally. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Like, I really can't wait for that shit to be over because I don't like people being taken advantage of. And I can clearly see it in this. Because like I said, we were talking earlier. I think I was telling Ashlee on the phone too. Like, we all thought this shit was over after
done.
Came out.
It's been like 30 years.
Yeah.
I just really can't take that. They're in control if she can have a baby. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really bothersome. Y'all are in control if she can have a baby. So y'all can control who she can pretty much go and sleep with. Like, that is ridiculous for a grown woman, for your father to have that much control over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to throw out there that she used to be a Republican and we know how they feel. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to let that shit go. This really makes me angry, but we got to move on because we all feel the same way. Brittany really needs to get in control of her own life. And I think, like I said, her father's definitely taken advantage of it. And it's been far too long. She's 38 damn years old. I've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes in our past, but not allowing us to fix it and, try to make it come together with therapy and counseling, then you're not really doing us any justice. And Angelique's right. We can't teach anyone else how to deal with situations because if we ever think about it, the first time we do something, the first time you have sex, the first time you kiss someone, it's the first time you've ever done it, and it's never the same for anyone. So I just think this whole shit needs to end. Let's move on to our next topic because we were talking about this earlier, Angelique, supporting our local businesses and why it's important. I'm going to let you start off with that, and then I'm going to go around the table. But I really honestly really agree with you. It's very important that we're supporting our local businesses, especially in the Bay Area. Angelique, why did you feel this was important?
I feel this is important because this is something that I've been on a mission for the entire year. Back at the beginning of the year, I started a drag school. And I reached out to a bunch of local businesses who were starting up at the same time. And I said, hey, you have this business, you have this business. And I work with them in part to bring them business through my school. And it just made me realize how many people have this opportunity or have these great things that they're doing. And I wanted to share that. And in that, throughout the year, I've watched several of my friends start businesses. I've learned about people who had businesses that I had no idea. And I started to realize that a lot of the people that I know and love network and have their own businesses. So rather than going out and spending, we're all at home right now and everybody has like an online store, everybody has something going on. I was like, it's super important to support these endeavors. If somebody is doing something or somebody is doing something right now and you don't have to leave your home to support it, it costs $0 to like and share an image of work, a link to a website, a link to a business site. It takes $0 to spread word of mouth. When you hear someone talk about furniture, like, oh, my friend makes furniture. My friend makes jewelry. My friend does hair. We do it. We used to do it all the time when it comes to everyday living, with nail tech, hair techs, makeup artists, things like that for weddings, photographers, all this stuff. So these people, you all want to do something. And rather than going and spending money at these major corporations who are fine right now, who are thriving right now in our failure, we need to support each other and lift each other up. I have so many friends that I've had to go to lately, and I'm like, let me just go spend this money with you because I could go spend it over here, but it's better. I feel it's better put into somebody I love and trust and want to support. So we have on our table alone, you have started Common Courtesy. We have Nikki who does a jewelry line that she sells through her Etsy website. We have Courtney Harbaugh who does the wood painting signs, and she also is in school to be an esthetician. So I've been supporting her through that and going and seeing her regularly. And now I'm an actual paying customer of hers because I love the work. that she does. So, you know, as I go through and I do these things, we all have these different ventures that we're doing and we're supporting each other. And in doing that, I try to tell people this. Imagine if you have a million friends and I have a business and you bring me 10 people and those 10 people bring me 10 people. That's 100 people. That's 110 and so on, so on, so on. And I can expand my business through that. I don't need a million people to show up at my door at once. I need, 10 good people from 10 friends and that's it. And the business will spread out from there. It will do its own work if the product is good and everything is wonderful. I have so many friends who do that. I have a friend right now who I'm supporting. She's been working for a year and I have a business that I do corporate identity and I do branding. And I helped her start the process of getting her business, which is called Urban Greenhouse, off last year in July. This month now on September 19th, she's launching her first ever plant sale. And what she did was she built a greenhouse in her backyard and she literally has bought all the plants and grows and thrives them in her own yard. So she does everything from home. She plants and pots them in cute little unique designs and everything. And she's doing it all from scratch by herself. And I think that's such an amazing thing. And I want to support that. I'm like, everybody needs a little greenery in their house, right? So, it's called Urban Greenhouse. If you live in the St. Pete area, you can see it on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, everything. Shameless plug for her. But it's one of those things that, and it's a Black owned business. It's one of those things that we have to lift these people up. We have no one else but ourselves at times. And if we only rely on ourselves, we can't get too far, right? Everybody needs a hand. So one little helping hand does a lot for the greater majority. And we want to keep these businesses alive. I want to see people thrive.
I love that answer. Let's go to Ashlee. Ashlee, why do you feel supporting our local business is important to you and to our society?
Oh, for the support, we have, especially like in the Bay Area, we have so much talent around here. Like you don't have to go outside of this area for much of anything. You know what I mean? Like when I sit up there and compete in pageants, I would much rather sit up there, go and get something made from a designer who I know that's locally here in St. Pete, Tampa, than I would going spending $800 up here going to somebody up in New York. And why not support my brothers and sisters who I know can give me the same quality stuff and most likely not gonna sit up there and play with me, my time, or my money.
Absolutely.
And especially up in local bars, like bar life is seriously dying, and it's because of the lack of support that is out there. Like anytime that I'm able to go out to a bar or to tip a fellow entertainer or anything, like you have to sit up there and take advantage of that because these places are not going to be here forever if we don't get out there and continue to support them. Like Cityside just opened up this weekend. It was like I have to sit up there and be there to support my bar, to support my friends and my sisters. Like if I need to buy this, I need to buy this. Like y'all need our business to continue. And then when everything closes up, what are we going to say? There goes another LGBT establishment right there that we lost. Oh, well.
Right.
Like, it's really kind of sad where bar life is going right now.
Yeah.
It's really failing, like especially with the COVID-19, we don't have people going out as much as we usually do. But before I answer the question, let me let Nikki go first. Nikki, how do you, I already know how you feel.
I was just going to say, I mean, you know how I feel about it. I 100% always want to support local business, small business. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I order plenty of stuff from Amazon, but when it comes to gifts or just any time that I can buy anything special, that something that I need to think about, I want to buy local. If I'm not making it myself, I want to buy it from somebody who is, or somebody who is independently selling their product in some way. I think it's super important because I mean, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking about like every job I've ever had and how they all have been on some level dealing with people. And I was like, well, God, I mean, is there any job that doesn't? And I was having like a people annoyance day, but then I was like, well, no, there isn't, because no matter what you do, it's we're all doing whatever we're doing for people. And those small businesses and those independent places and those mom and pops and family owned, they're the ones who need our help the most. Like the chains will survive an apocalypse. They're like roaches. Like if there's stores to be, they'll be fine. But it really comes down to just making a conscious decision to maybe go a little bit out of your way, or maybe, just order from a different place than you're used to, or frequent another bar that, just try to keep it local and try to understand that this is these people's livelihood. Amazon, Walmart, and any other chain you can name will always survive, but these people survive by word of mouth and by supplying good product for people that can be personalized and is, I just feel like, and by far it's usually a better quality anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you because I work at a new restaurant. I work at in Tampa it's a place called Sushi Alive in West Chase. And now that is a locally owned business. And I'll just tell you right now, you can, just like Nikki said, you can taste the difference between, like, let's say PF Chang's or what's that Panda Express, then you have like actual or like Trader Joe's. You can taste the difference in the food. And did you say ew? But
Panda Express, no ma'am.
I used to be a fan of that when I didn't know better. Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't know better. Yeah.
But really fast, like, I work at this place, Sushi Alive, and it's a family-owned business, and it's such a different thing when you see the owners working next to you. And they're doing the same things you do. It's like you're human. Rather, as opposed you go to Walmart, you're not going to meet Sam Walton, or he's dead, but you're not going to meet the CEO, working next to you, or the boss. Every corporate restaurant or bar you work at, it's always some bullshit. It's always some bullshit. But when you go to these local places, like, it's more of a genuine feeling, you know what I mean? Because they really want you. They not only they want you to come back, they need you to come back. You know what I mean? So I'm all for supporting local business, especially Enigma when that shit opens up again, because I'm missing the happy hour. I really want to go
finding chips in my bag, like in this little pocket in my purse. I have 3 Enigma chips, and every time I find them, I'm like, someday
my principal called.
I'm mad that song just popped in my head. Someday.
No, but it really is important because, I think a couple of places in downtown closed because of we lost Ash. She'll be back. Her connection bad, I think. But a couple of places downtown had already closed because they had lost business. And I think that's just
a certain point.
Yeah, because especially with, you have the government giving all the money to Walmart or Publix, these big establishments that people are going to regardlessly go to no matter what. And then we forget about our small, like, little restaurant. Like, I'm surprised Das is still open. I'm hoping they close. But I'm just surprised some of these places are still open, like $5. I think Mastery's is closed now. It's just a sad thing, but I think this pandemic should have shown people that our government doesn't really give a shit about the little people. They really don't, because they're allowing places to close down, and it's not okay. It isn't. Just for me. That's how I feel. Anybody else want to go before we move on?
No, I mean, it is kind of self-explanatory at this point. We have to do what we have to do to keep each other's backs because they're not sending us checks. So
yeah,
big companies.
I'm waiting on a check. Here she is. So Ashlee just came back to the stream. So let's move on to our next topic. Hey, Ash.
Welcome back.
Hey, did y'all lose me?
Yeah, we lost you just for a second.
Oh, she's breathing.
I said, oh shit, shade.
No. Trust me, I do not kick anyone out. But anyways, let's move on to our next topic. Let's move on to our next topic, which is something we want to get into, and we're gonna have to take a little bit more time. So I don't want to really start this one out because I don't really know Share Needles, but here I go. So Angelique I woke up this morning. Angelique sent me this message about what's been happening with Share Needles and this fan and I guess colleague, because she was in a play with her. This is a performer called Ancy. that performed with Sharon Needles in a play in San Francisco. But the story goes back a little bit further than that. They met when Ansi was, I think, 15. They met on a RuPaul Drag Race themed cruise, which is kind of strange to me. And on that cruise, Ansi alleges that Sharon Needles basically was grooming her for abuse, like getting dressed in front of her, using the bathroom in front of they, and also like exposing himself as well, and also trying to get them to do drugs like drink alcohol, weed. Sharon was doing crack cocaine in front of her. I mean, in front of them. Yeah, it was kind of like a crazy thing, and they also said, it's so weird doing pronouns. I'm really bad at it. But Ansi also said that while they were smoking weed, they had never kissed a man before, but it was
never a person ever.
A person ever, yeah.
Ever. At the time, she identified as female and had never kissed anyone. Her first kiss was through a shotgun, mouth to mouth smoke inhalation of weed. Was her first kiss from a 32-year-old man at the time when she was 15.
And that's what we've been reading all day. And there's multiple allegations coming out on this. And I saw some of the videos because in this document, because we found, I don't know where you found it, Angelique, but I've seen
it. Credible sources. There was a huge lit debate on Twitter this morning. And because I am friends with her and I follow her, anytime somebody posts her, it pops up on my feed. So I saw this link and a person said, I want receipts about this horrible thing she's been doing. Well, this person went ahead and posted this link, which this information, this Google document, I mean, it is more extensive than an FBI document. It is literally so lit because with every single detailed incident, she put pictures, text screenshots, messages, videos, links to everything. I mean, this girl's citation is better than an APA paper. It's truly
better than my shit. Like,
yeah, it's truly amazing how much she took her time to write this and really put her identity, her ideas, and everything on the line. So
let's go to Ashlee and see how she's reacting to all of these news, these allegations, because there are some receipts, but then again, there are so many ways we can make something up, whatever. Not, but how do you feel, Ashlee?
So for me, this was a subject I was a little scared on speaking on because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to take away from the victim or what they are, or saying that sit up there and happen to them because I've been there. I know what it's like to sit up there to something happen and to tell and say hey, okay, I don't believe you. But reading it, and it was long, it was really, really far-fetched. And looking at the proof, it definitely seemed like somebody just created it. Do you know what I mean? It definitely seemed like something was manufacturing, all of the screenshots, how everything looked, and the stuff that they were doing. They were I'm recording myself talking to Sharon Needles and how they were holding the camera but the camera was down here, so you really couldn't see who they were talking to or what was going on or how blurry everything was. You know what I mean? It was just okay, this looks like something that somebody set up there and made. And for the person to be they suffer with, mental illness and depression and all of that other stuff. I work at a psych hospital. There are a lot more diagnoses than bipolar and depression. Do you know what I mean? So it was okay, well, I definitely think that, maybe this person might be, in a little bit of psychosis right now and really sitting up there creating this, because it was a lot of stuff that just wasn't adding up, and I wasn't buying, you know what I mean? World of Wonder had this 14-year-old up in here on this ship, and Michelle Visage saw you kiss them, and all of this stuff that was happening. This was after she had won Drag Race.
Let's bring it back to the facts. The fact is that the Work the World cruise is a cruise that's open to families. It was a family-friendly event that started around 2015, 2016. It was made for families to be able to come and enjoy the environment and come be around them and come do the drag shows. It's a full cruise. It's no different than any other cruise ship. They do gay cruises, they do Disney cruises. You go on the cruise, you see the shows, you get to meet you get to be in the environment with these people. So to clarify, the incident that you were talking about where she was there with the person, she had actually met Sharon back in 2013 through Vine. So what you're seeing is clips of this is 7 years of technology degradation that we're talking about here. You're seeing clips of her showing someone recording her FaceTiming on the Vine. The Vines are things that she sent links to at the bottom that you can see most of them through the old Facebook page that Sharon has. And the links work, everything is valid. And so what happened was she met then, and then so she told her how she was her idol. Sharon was very wildly known for being very personable with all of her fans. As somebody who is a personal friend of hers, I've known her since before she was ever on Drag Race, back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I lived with her, in the city with her. She was wildly known for being personable with her fans. She got on the show, and when she was on the show, that first year that she toured wildly across the US after she won, because she was the winner. So the winners get to do a crazy tour. They'd even go overseas to do a second part of the tour. When the cruise happened, it was at the end of her reign, at the beginning of the next winner's reign. So what happened was they were on the ship. They did a lot of cities because it was done by Alan Chuck. I don't know if anybody remembers Alan Chuck Travel Company. They did a lot of cruises where they made millions off of these World of Wonder tours. And so what happened is they held events at certain select cities and certain bars. Bars could hold an event in which you could participate, or local radio stations. Everybody was holding events for Alan Chuck. And what they would do is they would have you win tickets. You could win tickets to come on the cruise, and you would be on the cruise. Now, who sends their 15-year-old on a cruise unsupervised, or allows their 15 or 16-year-old to go hang out with people 2-3 times their age and does not question that and does not do anything? The child even goes to state, I am aware of my part in these bad things. She talks specifically about how she went and did these things and put herself in these situations, and she was so starstruck, or she was so unaware of the danger she put herself in. And then when it happened, she talks about how she heard these people talk to each other. So when Sharon started talking to her that way, she just assumed that was par for the course. She was none the wiser. She was 15. And coming from the area where she came from and coming from the livelihood that she lived, she had no idea that this was wrong. And now I don't know if you know anybody who works in a mental health facility, because I work in one as well. Anybody who's a cutter is not an actual they don't run around screaming to the mountaintops that they're a cutter. Usually you have to see the marks, or they have to trust you to some extent to speak about their cutting and what it does and how it comes about, and their suicidal tendencies. Nobody just comes in the room and says, I'm going to commit suicide today, you know?
So really fast, Angela, I don't mean to cut you off, but do you believe these allegations? There's some truth in it? Is that what you're saying? Or
for me? Yes, yeah. Absolutely. I totally do. I see the consistencies in things that I've noticed as a friend and the things that she's saying. The behavioral patterns, the way she talks, the way she treats certain people within certain aspects or certain circles that she hangs out with. I've seen this happen, but I only ever saw it with adults. I work in bars that don't let anybody under the age of 18. And anytime we were in an event together that had anybody under the age of 18, she was very, very clear as to not want to be in the room with people under the age of 21. She was very clear about that. So for me, as in having known her for years, since 2006, 2007, I've known her myself personally. I have never encountered these kind of situations, but I have seen the actions and the tendency she shows towards other people's, the blatant disregard for mental health, the blatant disregard for other people, the racism, the use of the N-word. I have other people who I know personally in Pittsburgh who have watched her do this or say these things or use the N-word or be disrespectful, or the blackface that she's done several times. There's been multiple incidents, and those are all pictured throughout her Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. She has Nazi signatures. I mean, the Ouija board thing was her out because spooky isn't racially charged or religiously charged, technically. Satanic is fun when you're talking Halloween. And she made what her catchphrase was, spooky all the time, spooky all year round. She made it okay for her to do these things all year round. And when you talked about grooming, it really hit me that, holy shit, as a friend of hers, I was groomed to think that what she was doing was okay. And I had my own personal inner doubts. And I said, I don't really fuck with that, but she's not being rude to me. She's not being disrespectful to me. I don't feel like I have a place. If she's having a conversation with her friend and she says something fucked up to them, that's their relationship. I don't know about that. I can say it's fucked up, but that's all I can say.
Right. So I'm going to cut you off again just really fast.
Sorry,
I just want to go back
into it. Sorry.
I'm going to go back to Ashlee. Ashlee, then I'm going to go to Nikki. Ashlee, you said that there were some things in this that you read that you felt that it was not believable to you. Can you tell me what certain things that was to you?
It was certain stuff I can believe, the groping or the racial stuff. I personally don't think that Sharon Needle is the greatest person. I think that she definitely can be a scumbag. But reading it was a lot of stuff that I saw that was really, really far-fetched. And the stuff that she provided that was the proof, it really didn't seem like it was real. It was how blurry everything was, how everything looked. It was nothing that was oh, okay. Even the pictures, like I said, they didn't look hey, okay, I know this is something that could seriously be put together right now. And I've heard and seen crazier things than this. So it's okay, well, I don't want to sit up there and say necessarily let's jump on it and be oh, okay, X Sharon Needle's out and we don't know all the facts or what exactly happened. You know what I mean? Cancel culture is real. You seriously, you say one thing about somebody, hey, oh, okay, that's it. For me personally, I see some stuff that's oh, all right, well, I don't know if I necessarily buy all of that personally. But I'm looking at everything way differently.
We just canceled somebody in drag race culture, Sherry Vine, and there was another young drag queen who just got canceled for less evidential proof. Less. I'm talking literally hearsay, he said, she said type shit. Got people fired, lost tons of money, tons of everything with less. This is a minor we're dealing with.
But even that is still something.
Take away the minor.
But I'm not trying to sit up there. And make excuses for pedophilia or anything like that.
Right.
I'm saying, but I still don't necessarily think cancer culture. That I don't think that seriously works for everything though. I don't think sitting up there telling somebody hey, you're done. That's it. I'm not going to let you grow from this. I'm not going to let you learn from this experience. I don't think that that's the solution for everything. You know what I mean? Because cancer culture.
But I think that she's been let run. This is something that has been running for a long time. And she's had other incidents where she was accused of racism and actually run out of a town because of her racism. And World of Wonder swept it under the rug. There was an incident where several other incidents.
I definitely can sit up there and say that. The thing with this fan in particular, I think I'm really on the fence about it. It's oh, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this.
To been there to see it personally? Would you have? Is that what it would have taken for you to physically?
No, it's not that. No, it's not that. That's what I'm saying. Even
crystal clear viewing is that what it is?
No, even before we sit up here and have this conversation, this is a topic that I seriously didn't want to talk about because I was I don't want to say this, and how I'm looking at it, it gets viewed oh, okay, no, is this okay, or is this how you're sitting up there looking at it? That's not the case. I don't want to sit up here and take away from the victim. I know what it's like to be 15-year-old and tell your mom, hey, okay, my stepdaddy did this to me, but I got to get out the house. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. I've been there. I completely understand that and the victim's aspect of it. I'm still looking at it I've seriously heard far crazier things, and the stuff that they provided that they said was evidence was hey, all right, but this doesn't look solid to me. That's
so
what I'm trying to understand. I'm not justifying or saying who's right, who's wrong. It's just hey, okay, I want to see a little bit more. But this is why I said I want to sit up there and talk about the subject. Though.
I see.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. My interviewer side took over. Don't take offense to it. I really always want to know what questions. I always want to answer.
Yeah,
don't feel no way about it.
You guys are fine. I just want to break in so I can get Nikki's point of view.
I mean, honestly, I know, to be honest, I feel like anything that I could feel about this, I don't know enough about. I read the story and I read the I don't know, would it be called a transcript? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the document.
Thank you. I can't think of words today. That's as far as I know about it. But I mean, I think really just the long and the short of it is, if these things took place and that's really the kind of person, the kind of human that this person is, it seems like something that should definitely be a part of a cancellation, because that just doesn't, if all those things are true and that happened and that is what this person endured at the hands of somebody that they looked up to and idolized and saw as a hero, and they were made to feel that way, then I don't think there's any other, I don't think there's any question about the fact that that's disgraceful and terrible, and that person shouldn't be in a place to receive any kind of hero worship. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Right.
But as I said, all I know is what I've read and what I've heard. And if that's the case, then yes, then I don't think that's disgusting to me and horrifying.
I'm gonna jump in here because, like, I see where Ashley's saying, we can't just cancel everything and that as if it fixes everything. And I can kind of see, like some of the photos, they look probably doctored, because we know we can do that. And at the same time, though, I did hear in one of the videos that she cited, they cited, excuse me, that Sharon Needles was talking about, sleeping with an underage boy and, taking his clothes by accident, his suitcase and his wallet, and telling us, a crowd of people, at a club, that was okay. I can kind of see, because honestly, I can kind of see where everyone's coming from, because we don't want to jump on everything. But at the same time, I was saying this earlier, I was like, we don't know if any of this is true, because like Ashley said, she's heard crazier shit than this. And Angelique, I can see where, you're coming from your personal experiences as well. I don't know. I agree with Nikki. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I think they should really look into it, because I know in the gay world and in Hollywood, because when we go to RuPaul's Drag Race, it isn't just the gay community, it's Hollywood, and we've heard stories, about younger actors, or like Anthony Rapp came out a couple of years ago about Kevin Spacey. I think they should definitely look into it, because I don't think this girl, I know she has some issues, but are the issues...
I'm not saying she shouldn't be listened to. I just think that it needs to be fair before somebody's life is entirely destroyed. You need to find out all the facts, because you can't take that back. And just in some different reality, if it was, let's just say it was false on any level, someone's life is ruined and there's no going back. Like, I'm not saying put anyone through the ringer who is claiming to have been victimized, but there are, I feel like, precautions and steps that should be taken just to ensure that what's being punished is what's on the table, if that makes sense. That wording was wrong, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, because if you look back in the 60s, like with African Americans, we would be accused of shit that we didn't fucking do. And there's no really much of evidence. I mean, I don't know. Angelique, did you want to say something as well? You want to respond as well?
I just want to state that off the gun, just if anybody, I'll post the link to the document, and you guys who are viewing can kind of read and review it yourselves and kind of see. But there's way too much. I could see if it was one message, but for someone to take the time and go through and do all of these pictures, all of these text messages. And I mean, she pulled information from every major site. This is not stuff that you can really doctor.
Do you think that's not possible, though?
I mean, to what extent and to what aim? To what extent and to what aim at this point? Sharon's reign is over. She's not a popular drag queen at this time. There is no gain from this, even in a mental state, dealing with a patient who is maybe on a revenge kick at this point, at 22, 23 years old, when this started 7 years ago. At this point, to sit down and have this kind of expose of all of this, is this not what we're trained to do, to help patients, to help them get over injustices, or help them get over trauma, to help them go through it? Sometimes you have to have a pouring of your feelings and emotions, and you have to put it down. She could have went so many directions with this, and she chose to do a personal just leak. She just did a personal, sat down and really put her stuff. And I mean, but okay, so some of the pictures, okay, but videos, she can't doctor the video. She can't doctor certain things about it. The timestamps on these things, it's not that it's impossible, but to go through that much trouble to prove a point, and not one point, I'm talking various points. And I mean, there's just so many little things that happened over this time. The backing that she got from Sharon's ex-boyfriend and lover, Alaska, the backing that she got from other people who saw and posted pictures of the incident as it was happening, little things. It's the connectivity between it. Even if 80% is a lie, that 20% is enough for me to realize that the person I've been supporting is not somebody I need to stand by anymore for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. At this point, I have to step back and say, I cannot follow that. It doesn't matter what happens. So I'm not calling for a cancel of her job. I'm not calling for her to go to jail. I'm not calling for anything. I'm just sitting here saying that this person did some horrible ass shit, and we've never had any proof at all whatsoever other than hearsay. And finally, somebody steps forward, somebody who was a child who was abused stepped forward and asking for people to just hear her out, just to let it go so that she can move on, so that she can be a better person and healthy, which she explains in it. If you read the document, she literally talks about how going to therapy and how she has to do this as part of her thing. Like, it's been something she's been dealing with for 3 years as to whether or not she should post it or talk about it or vent, but she's tired of holding on to it. She's tired of having this here to wait. She could have threw it away and walked away and pretended like it never happened. But what happens when it happens to the next kid? What happens if more people come forward about the abuse and about the stuff outside of an adult? So because it happened to Alaska as an adult, now we don't give a fuck. And now because it's from a kid, it's no longer valid. We're putting the thought process to say
that's not what I said.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm choosing my words very carefully right now. The thought process to say that there's an invalidity to her story that makes it enough to kind of almost, it seems and feels dismissive. It feels as if you took the mental health possibility first and didn't care about the actual well-being of this person over the past 7 years. Immediately, the mental health aspect was something you dove into and you ran with it.
So let's get what Ashlee was trying to say, because I feel like she wasn't saying that. But Ashlee, what were you trying to say again? Just so we get off of this topic.
No, like I was saying, like that. It was some parts of it, like I've seen and heard more off the wall stuff than, like I was saying, like I don't want to talk about it anymore. Never mind.
Right. We're gonna move on because like we ran out of time anyway. Like honestly, I'll just be honest. Like I'll just say this is my last piece because I didn't get a chance to speak that much. I just want to say, like, I remember I was reporting my sexual assault with the police, and the woman was like, "This bitch, excuse me." The detective was like, "Well, was there anyone in the room?" And as you guys were talking, I kind of saw myself in a situation. I'm like, did she just ask me, was there anyone in the room? That's not how those things work. I can see both ends. Like, honestly, I can see this person creating all this stuff, but at the same time, there's so much stuff that, I can't deny. But hopefully someone looks into it, because I wanted to do this story because someone needs to look into these people.
That's what I want.
Yeah, we want
someone to look into it.
Yeah, a full investigation, just like with fucking Britney.
I would like that. I would like that.
Let's investigate this, because
I really don't want it to sit up there and look like, hey, okay, I was taken away from the victim.
Yeah, and I'm hearing you. I'm the moderator, and Nikki is with you. You weren't doing that, but at the same time, you're giving
that either.
You're also giving plausible. You're being critical of the things that you read and hear, which a lot of people aren't doing a lot in America, and that's how cancel culture work. Because they wanted to cancel Ellen over the wrong shit. They were talking about Pizzagate when they don't have any proof of that, but they do have proof of other stuff. But I think that at the end of the day, someone should definitely look into this, because of what Angelique said, there's a lot of shit that this person put together to like say this stuff. But then again, we know in America, we have people like Ted Bundy and fucking like, Jeffrey Dahmer killing bitches, put them in their refrigerator. This could be not true. But like, I think that they need to do a serious investigation on this, because I'm sick of hearing it, Hollywood. But anyway, gang, we are out of time tonight. Unless anyone's, we're all good, guys. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We're all good. thank you everyone for joining us and watching and commenting and following us. I want to give a big thank you to Ashlee T. Bangkx for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for coming in, and join us next week for our normal time